Good Thursday afternoon. Meteorologist Ed Valley here, and we have a storm to deal with, of course. This video is going to be devoted to the next 24 hours, and that's it. Current advisories out there. We can tell it's going to be a big one. We have winter storm warnings here in pink. Purple is winter weather advisories. Green, you have flood watches. Orange, you have high wind warnings. Again, so basically, a swath of the heaviest snow, of course, in the winter storm warnings here, including Detroit, Cleveland, all of western New York, the Poconos here, portions of the Catskills up into the western Adirondacks, and then also we have winter storm watches up for the western Berkshires and southern Vermont and the Monadnocks of New Hampshire. And we have a winter weather advisory, Rutland County here, Killington, Okemo. That's for you guys in the higher elevations. Then we have winter weather advisories all the way down into northwest Jersey and interior southern Connecticut as well. Again, for the snow that could occur here on the backside of this system as we get closer to tomorrow afternoon and into even tomorrow evening. So with all of that said here, let's chat about the timing of this and what kind of precipitation types we're going to be dealing with. This is fresh data that just came in. Noticing as we move forward here, this data is going to become less and less reliable as we start needing to actually look at the observations. But for the sake of this video, I think data has finally gotten a good handle on it. We have snow developing in the southern tier after a bit of rain here. This is by 1 a.m. Then notice by as early as 3 a.m., snow is falling here in the southern Green Mountains, Berkshires, northwest Connecticut. And then as we move forward, this is by about 5 a.m., it's snowing. Ignore the green here in Vermont. It's snowing all of western New York, northern tier PA, even central PA at this point, northwest Jersey, and then the Berkshires and southern Greens. And as we move through the day, the snow is going to continue across portions of the region here, western portions of the region, very heavy rain elsewhere, strong wind gusts, 50 to 60 miles an hour along the coast, 30 to 50 miles an hour inland. And we notice temperatures are going to start falling around 2,500 feet below freezing. And as that happens, this is by about noon. Notice temperatures at 2,500 feet are now below freezing. For a lot of the region, that's going to allow rain to flip over to snow, even down to the Jersey Shore, I think, tomorrow afternoon, maybe a coating to an inch or two. I think it's a lot of wet mix, but it could make for some pretty pictures with some heavy snow. Then you notice we're dealing with rain changing over to snow in the Worcester Hills by tomorrow evening. Snow and rain will be mixed across Vermont. That'll taper off during the evening hours. Total snowfall here, generally speaking, I think this is way overdone in New Jersey. I doubt there's going to be 11 inches of snow in coastal New Jersey. But what model I do think has a good handle on it is this NAM model. Basically, it's the positive snow change. So that takes into account the wetness of the snow and some of the mixing that we could be seeing. And we notice 8 to 12 inches southern Greens down into the Berkshires in northwest Connecticut, up to 18 inches of snow here in the Catskills, the higher elevations, even into the southern tier of New York here. And then even down to the coast, there could be some surprises, we'll say, where the rain does end as some snow. But right now, I'm not too worried about it. I think for the most part, snow will be across the interior from southern Vermont down into northwest Connecticut on westward. Now, that's only one phase of this system. There's a lot of other components to it, very strong, what we call frontogenetic banding, which is essentially the stretching of the atmosphere where there's intense lift. You can see a big band. That could allow for the snow to change over a little bit sooner in southern New England here, depending on where that band does indeed set up. So with that said, as we move forward here, the other big component to this storm will be the wind. The wind is going to be pretty incredible across the coastline, with easterly winds getting up into the 50 to 60 mile an hour range here as we get into tomorrow afternoon. And it's going to be coming out of the east in such a direction, this storm is going to kind of sit here and it's just going to pummel the eastern facing coastlines, even into portions of the Long Island Sound. But then by the time you get towards the Jersey Shore, we're coming out of the north, which should at least help things. We're probably going to have some coastal flooding here as well, but I think the biggest deal will definitely be along the New England east-facing coastlines comparatively. So that's another aspect of it. There's just a lot of data that's all saying the same thing now. There's still some uncertainty with who sees how much snow. The European still has this 6-inch amount here in southeastern Massachusetts. I don't think that's going to happen, but again, this storm is very unpredictable, and that's the European data. The GFS data is much warmer, not much at all along the New York City metro region. I think this is underdone personally. Basically, I think the best idea for snow, to be honest with you, I think is what the NAM is portraying here, that we led off this video with. So that's kind of what we're dealing with right now. With respect to any sort of changes to the forecast, there could be some. I think the forecast is pretty much as good as it's going to get here ahead of the event. We're going to have to adjust for nowcast situations. 4 to 8 inches, Berkshires down into southern Connecticut, southern Greens as well. Maybe closer to the, we're going to have to see how it plays out for the Worcester Hills. I still think they see 4 to 8, 2 to 4 in the valleys, 2 to 4 down into the extreme northern Lehigh Valley, 8 to 16 northern Poconos up into the southern tier and the Catskills. A very impactful event for sure. I did have that coding to 2 all the way down into Delaware and New Jersey to account for some of that surprise quote-unquote snow possible as well. So a very intricate, very delicate, changeable situation. We'll be watching it for you. If you have any questions, let me know. Take care.